You are now listening to the Going North podcast, where you'll receive tips and techniques to advance yourself. I'm your host, Dom Brightmon, and every week we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. On a quick side note, be sure to check out Going North the book. It's available in ebook, audio, as well as paperback form for those who love to read a traditional book. Now let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, we have, you guessed it, another author, but not just any author. This wonderful author right here has a to-do list that is bigger than the earth because she has so many great things and so many gifts to offer the world. And the reason for that is because her first name starts with the letter G, or at least that's what I'm thinking anyway. And this wonderful guest right here is a very, very passionate leader. She's a very passionate woman with multiple projects and multiple businesses, a keynote speaker, and a boatload of so many things. And one of the things that I love the most about her is the wonderful, wonderful woman 5.0. Not 2.0, not 3.0, but 5.0. So she's got the ultimate software for the ladies out there to embrace themselves at full capacity and to take over the world, baby. And you're probably wondering, who is this powerhouse of a guest you have today, Dom? It is the one and only Gema Ramirez. How are you today, ma'am?
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Yeah, Woman 5.0. I'm so pleased that you're excited about it, but because I am as well. And it's a project that I started last year. The idea came one day as I was walking in London, in the UK, where I was living at the time, and I had an idea of wanting to work with women, but I didn't know how, didn't know what to do. And suddenly the name came, Woman 5.0. And I love that you mentioned the software bit, because obviously it ties up with that. We used to hear about so-and-so 2.0, so-and-so 3.0. Some people are even now daring to go through to version 4.0. Mine is version 4.0 because it's beyond all that, and it also ties up with the fifth dimension, which is where the unconditional love is, and that's where we're taking all these women to embrace the love that they are. Because for so many years, and I have been through this, we've wanted to go into business, to go into the corporate world, whatever we wanted to do, and we got to a certain level where we got into a leadership position, and at that point we found out that we had to behave like a man and lose our femininity because of that. And I went through that. And because of my experience, one of my messages is that we can be leaders, we can be CEOs, we can be whatever we want to do without losing the femininity, the love that we embody. In fact, it is what is so much needed in the world right now, especially in business. So that's one of the core things that Women 5.0 wants to bring to women, to keep authentic, keep being your extraordinary self. Being the beauty that you are, and without losing it, whatever you want to do in the world.
Well, actually, one of the first questions I had about 5.0 is like, why 5.0? Like, it'd be like 2.0.
No, we go beyond. It's the woman of the future, that will change the world. You probably heard the saying from the Dalai Lama that will be the Western woman who changed the world. So that is the woman that changes the world, the woman of 5.0. So it's like bringing the future to the present. So if we go to the future and we imagine this beautiful world where we live in harmony, men and women, respecting and loving each other for who we are, accepting our differences and enhancing them with the love for each other, respecting the environment, creating beautiful things, and so much more. So to get there, we need to empower the woman to become the woman that she is, the goddess that she is, the authentic, empowered woman that she is. So we bring a woman from the future to the present. We can start embodying and being that already.
That is awesome indeed, right there. Bringing the future to the present. It's kind of, I guess, it's kind of like a way vision boarding and then taking action to make it happen and all that good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. It's bringing those qualities that we think, if we think of a almost perfect world, heaven and earth, or paradise, or just a world where we live in harmony and in peace. What kind of person do we need to become? What kind of human do we need to become to achieve that? So if we think about the qualities that one must embody to create that world around us, then we can start working on those already and leave a legacy for the future generations to keep working on that.
That is right indeed. And that is just only one of the many facets that is Gema. So there's some others like the Global Consciousness Summit that you were part of last year, and then, of course, your main squeeze business, the Consciousness Academy, where you coach others to find their greatness. Do you mind telling us a bit about those?
Yes, thank you. Common theme behind all these projects is conscious leadership. I was very inspired by many leaders that I had in the past and many books I've read on conscious business, conscious leadership. And because of my corporate background and also spiritual background, I saw very clearly that my niche was going to be conscious leadership. So behind all the projects is the idea of inspiring everyone to embrace conscious leadership, to become, again, this human in the future that creates a magnificent world. So with the Consciousness Academy, that's what we mainly do. Our goal is to raise consciousness, to inspire conscious leadership in people by raising humanity consciousness through conscious education, always based with the values of love and compassion. And the main product that I have is my coaching course, where I create or develop or empower people to become leader coaches that coach and lead for greatness. So again, we're talking about the leader of the future, the leader 5.0, the woman 5.0. It's all the same concept, kind of oriented to different audiences. But yeah, the Consciousness Academy is the main hub of everything I do. And in here, our aim is to inspire people to embrace conscious leadership, to raise the consciousness to become responsible for their own lives, for their own responsibility. And that will create not only better people, but we will find the greatness that we are already inside, because we're just remembering who we truly are. So by healing and becoming who we are, we can be that great beings that we are and create a greater environment and a greater world.
A greater environment, indeed. Just got to wake the people up. So one thing is for sure, what inspired you to be who you are today and to be this powerhouse of a businesswoman? Because I'm pretty sure there's been some folks that have inspired you or been a role model, because no one just wakes up one day and goes like, hey, I'm just going to start the Conscious Academy and coach people to wake up, or just walk around on a vacation one day and just think of a new thing to do. So what inspired you to do all that you do?
Absolutely, but I think so many people, and recently I read a sentence that says, you fail alone, but you succeed with many people. And it's true, there's been so many people that have inspired me. And now as I'm writing my next book, I'm kind of thinking about all the people that have influenced me. So starting with my parents and looking back, and now that I'm a certain age, that all the frictions and stuff that you have with your parents have kind of healed and disappeared. You can see the good things that they showed me and why I chose them as my parents. So my parents to start with. Then I've been very lucky to have great spiritual leaders that have been really passionate and very loving and almost near enlightenment. One of them was my late teacher, Isis Livingstone. She died 2 years ago. She was a powerhouse of a woman. She really was. And she left me her legacy after she died. And it was after she died that I grabbed all her knowledge and everything started to make sense. And 2 years down the line is when things are really starting to, I understand why she did the things she did, why she said the things she said, and now it's making sense. And I think it happens with all the good teachers. You realize those things later on. So she was the greatest inspiration. I've had many other teachers and mentors and spiritual teachers along the line, and also, of course, the huge amount of books that we have hold of these days. One of them was the Conversations with God series from Neil Donald Walsh, where he talks about leadership in there, kind of spiritual leadership, and everyone embracing spiritual leadership. So that was probably the first one that put the ideas in my mind. In fact, it was about 2 years ago I became the humanities coordinator for Spain. It's an association that Neil Donald Walsh started, a humanities team. And so he was a great inspiration as well. And many other classics like The Peaceful Warrior, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari from Robin Sharma. So many. And of course, unconscious leadership, I have to mention one of my leaders in the corporate world who later on, he wrote this book called Conscious Leadership in Action, who's Floyd Carlson. He actually inspired me to also embrace conscious leadership and keep inspiring other people.
Conversations with God, oh man, multiple best-selling series right there.
Yes.
Oh man, so what keeps you going? Because of doing a lot of work like that, you mentioned your parents, which is awesome, and your wonderful teacher. Sorry for her departure a couple of years ago. But what really just keeps you going? Because it can be hard to try to stay motivated depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you mentioned a word there, motivation, which when we look for motivation, we look outside of ourselves. You have to be motivated. You have to. And it has an energy of, I have to do things. It's a heavier energy than being inspired. And for that, I have to mention Lance Secretary, who's also someone who I follow. I love his work. And he talks about about inspirational leadership. And that's what it is. If you are inspired, once you found your purpose or the thing you want to do, that thing that clicks, and you just embrace it, and you just know that you cannot do anything else but that, then there is a force within you that keeps you going, that inspires you from within. So even the days that you don't feel like doing things, or you feel tired, you don't feel motivated or whatever, that light burning inside of you keeps you going. It doesn't go away, and even if you want to, it doesn't. And that's the beauty of finding your life purpose or your mission. I like to call it a soul purpose. So that's what keeps me going. That burning desire to do what I do, to transform people to the level I've transformed and beyond, and to leave a legacy for the future and contribute to this creation of a new human who is already happening and who will transform the world for future generations. So that's the idea of all that keeps me going.
Nice indeed, leaving that legacy, baby. A legacy so big it'll become Woman 20.0, right?
Wow, imagine that. What are we going to be doing? We cannot even imagine it.
Who knows, it might be like the Bionic Woman. Except 7 feet tall without heels.
Yeah.
Oh, man. As with all profiles of courage, there have been some times where they may have had to overcome some trials. Mind sharing a couple of those that you had to overcome to get to where you currently are?
Yeah. Well, my biggest hurdle in life was that I'm an introvert. I'm a very shy person, believe it or not, but I now sound assertive and quite extrovert. But in reality, I'm very introvert. And I used to be so introverted to the point that I had trouble talking to people. That was a huge hurdle to overcome, and it was very painful, very painful. But now I'm so grateful for it, because it has taught me that you can overcome whatever you want to, even if you think it's impossible at the time. And I have realized that introvert people make great leaders as well. You don't have to be this extroverted person to be a good leader. Everyone is a leader or can be a great leader. So being introverted and shy has taught me a lot, and I wouldn't change it now. But yeah, it has been a great hurdle that I have to overcome with the spiritual path helped me a lot, and as you become more and more into who you are, as you start peeling the onion and releasing all these limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, the more you know yourself, the more you grow into the great being that you are, then that shyness, even if it's still there, you don't care about it, and you just carry on because you have to do it. You have this burning desire inside that is stronger than anything else. So that helps you overcome anything that comes into your way. So that was the biggest hurdle I would say that I've had in my life.
Oh yeah, big hurdle indeed, especially since it's more of an internal hurdle as opposed to an external one, because I'm first an extrovert myself, and it can be hard in the beginning if you're so reserved and so shy that you become too self-conscious 24/7 that you don't do anything.
Yeah, it's true, and it's all right what you said. It's something internal, so you really have to grow out of it. And obviously, because you're shy and you're timid, I didn't ask for help, so it's even worse because you don't ask for help. If it's something external, you can ask for help, or if it's an arm that you've broken, you can ask for help. But who is going to look after a very shy person suffering inside if you don't shout it out? It's very difficult to see. So I feel very compassionate for people who are like that, and I understand what they go through. But the beauty of it is that there is lots of love behind a person who is like that, an introverted person, and it just needs to come out and be externalized. But there are great gifts in people who are like that. So you're listening and you feel that way, you resonate with what I'm saying, what I went through. There is great hope. There is great things inside you that differentiate you from many others, and your greatness will manifest the day you decide, I've had enough, I'm going to break this cocoon, whatever it is, and I'm just going to go for it. And you will start doing things that will open you up more and more and more, and you will be able to come into a podcast and not be able to shut yourself up and go into a stage and get the microphone and speak. I never thought I would be able to do things like that, and I did. So I know if I did it, anyone can.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Who knows, maybe that's why you have so much going on in a good way, because you had all that energy stored within you and just had to get it out in multiple ways.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Today, actually, that the greater, no, it was yesterday in a video I watched, the greater your hurdle, the more glorious your success will be. And it's true. I mean, I don't consider myself that I've arrived anywhere yet, but I can see who I am today and who I used to be. And it's true, once it comes out, because you've been holding it for such a long time, it just explodes and expands quite rapidly and quite widely. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh, yes, ma'am, indeed. So for all the fellow introverts out there who still may be shy about just doing something, any advice for them if they're looking to write their book or start their business?
For the introvert, I could say get help, really get help, because there are so many coaches out there or spiritual people, healers that the same way and can really understand you. And when you get a coach, it's such a big help because it's not like talking to a friend or talking to a family member. You don't have to, maybe you don't feel like opening up to the core of your being with these people if you are very introvert. But with a coach, they will just sit there and listen to you without judging you, without thinking anything about you, but how great you are, how magnificent you are. And you will open up to them so easily. So get a coach that helps you out with whatever problem you have, but especially if you are introvert and believe you cannot do anything or you cannot be a leader. Introverts make great leaders because being introvert, we don't speak that much, and we used to listen to people a lot. And that's a great skill to have for a coach, for a leader, because obviously leaders should be coaches, should be listening more than talking. Communication is all about listening. So you have great skills there that can make you a great leader, a great coach, a great therapy. therapist, like listening, being empathic. People who are shy or who are introvert become very compassionate and very empathic to other people because they listen a lot, they observe a lot, and they know a lot about people. We know probably as much as someone who's done a degree in psychology because we've been observing people all our lives. So those are great skills for a leader. So if you think you cannot run your own business because you're shy or introvert, think twice. Stop believing that because it's just a belief and which is limiting you. It's not true. You will be a great leader. You will have skills that you need to develop like everyone else. Even extrovert people need to do that. And those can be learned. But the skills you have already because you're an introvert, like being empathic and listening and putting yourself in the place of another person and observing people and understanding them, those are great skills that require years of training, and you already probably have that. So yeah, get a coach. That would be my first advice. Get a coach and get help, and they will help you overcoming those limiting beliefs that you have and get you going very quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get yourself a coach. Get yourself some help. That's why the coaching business is $1 billion business, because everybody is trying to be a coach because a lot of people need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. And the beauty of it is that coaching really helps. I know there are many people that think they don't, but we do. Coaching is very efficient to increase performance, to help you overcome your goals, overcoming your limiting beliefs that you don't even know they are there and they are hindering you. Coaching can help you not only overcoming a problem, but getting better at what you already are good at. So we can help people getting on with the businesses they're starting, getting into your goals and changing habits. We can do all those things. But also if you are an entrepreneur, a business person who, after a few years in business, feels stuck, we can help with that because obviously you're doing really well, but you probably got to a point that you want to do much better. And in order to do much better, you need to change because when you change, your business changes with you. So what's in you that is not allowing you to get your business to the next level? A coach will help you find that out. And it's already in you. The coach will just converse with you, ask you questions, and you will know what it is. But for that, you need a coach. So, yeah, we do great work. That's why the coaching profession is so successful because there is good results from it.
Oh, yeah, good results. And do you remember one time I hired a coach a couple of years ago, and I was a little skeptical because of his fees, and then went ahead and bit the bait, and actually got more out of it than I expected, I admit. Yeah. So you're all right. You are right. Everybody needs some coaching because they'll bring out of you something that probably would have taken years to surface.
That's true. And also coach is kind of the substitute for the priest. People used many years ago, they used to go to the churches to talk to the people in the church. I don't know how to call. But we don't do that anymore. We don't do that. We go to the phones, and sometimes friends cannot really help us as much. People don't really listen. They're too busy with their own lives, and they don't listen to you. They just, when you have a conversation with somebody, most people are thinking what they're going to say next, how they're going to answer to you. They're not really listening to you, and you don't feel looked after by that person, whoever that is. It's a friend or family member. I have that issue with certain people in my life. But a coach will listen to you. That's everything they will do. They will listen to the core of you, and not only what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're not saying. And that's a skill that you develop as a coach, listening between the lines, watching your body language, and they get into a very personal relationship with you by seeing the potential that you are, that you hold inside, and by listening. And those, to me, those are qualities of love, because love listens and love sees greatness in people. So, yeah, coaching is loving.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Love listens indeed. Love listens indeed. Even for 20 hours, love will listen, right?
Absolutely. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. In fact, my teacher, before she died, she taught me all her healing techniques, and I was with her for 4 years in total. And one day she said, all the things I've taught you, you can forget about them. All you have to do when you have someone coming into your life, you just love them. That's what's going to heal them, your love, your true love. And we're talking about divine love here. It's not romantic love. It's not love that is attached. So that's what she said. You just love them. Your love will heal them. Your love will transform them. And that is so true. And you love people by listening to them, just giving them your time and your space.
Oh, yes, indeed. So, in speaking of advice to wonderful prodigies and future leaders, if you were to go back 5 years into the future and you were 25 in 2018 with all of your mass knowledge and all the technology available today, what advice would you give to yourself?
Going back again, get a coach earlier in life. Get a coach, because even a few years ago we didn't know about coaching that much, or you spend the money in other things, or you, being an introvert, I studied on my own, I do things on my own. Just get a coach. Whatever you want to do in your life, get someone to help you. Get mentors, get teachers, get coaches. Now I have a business coach, I have a spiritual mentor, I have a friend who's also a mentor. I have friends who are coaches, and we coach each other when we have a problem. So you need to develop a network of emotional support, people who really love you for who you are, and a network of people that want the best for you. You might have to pay them, of course, that's what they're there for. But mentors and coaches, spiritual teachers, they will get you what you want to be faster, and you don't have to suffer like most of us have done in silence, or because you don't know what to do. And I'm going to run a business and you have no idea. Just get someone to help you get off the ground. If you someone like I used to be, that asking for help is a sign of weakness, that's not true either. That's a limiting belief. Asking for help is actually a sign of strength, because a team of people, even if it's you and your coach, that's a team of two, can get better results than you on your own. So yeah, that's the advice I would give to people. Get people to support you with our true friends, family members, coaches, mentors, teachers, anything that can get you what you want to be.
Very true indeed, true indeed. Get that coaching as soon as possible. Heck, even leave an apple on the desk if they teach, right?
That's right. Maybe because when you get coach, or when you become a coach, your consciousness raises, and by doing that, by raising your consciousness, by raising your level of awareness, you become a happier person. You welcome well-being in your life. You learn to appreciate things that you didn't appreciate before. Your mind shifts. You develop a new mindset, and that makes you happier. And by you being happier, your environment is happier. The bigger environment is happier, and the whole world is happier. So, yeah, get coaching.
Well, all right, for those who are looking to possibly being coached by you, or just follow you and keep up with all the wonderful stuff that you're doing, how can we keep in contact with you?
Thank you. Well, my main website is gemaramirez.com, and there you have links to all the other websites, to my Facebook page and LinkedIn profile as well. So that's the main one. You can also, you have the link there, but you can visit Woman 5.0 if you're interested in coming to San Diego to our first event in September. ConsciousnessAcademy.global, of course, as well. You have my blog there, lots of free stuff to use, like a meditation, and access to the course that I do and to my coaching. But GemaRamirez.com is the main one.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. Go on ahead, head over to a wonderful website, learn how you can become woman version 5.0, even if you're a man, because you probably got a beautiful lady in your life that would like to further advance herself. So, final words from the wonderful Gema.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's been a pleasure being in your company. Thank you.
Woo! Likewise, indeed.
Hey there, buddy. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Since you made it to the end of this episode, do both of us a favor and stop being greedy. Stop it right now and share this episode with your friends and your fellow podcast lovers, especially those who have book clubs and want to listen to the authors who write some amazing books. Be sure to check out the rest of the backlog too while you're at it, and share all those too. And in order to make the rest of your week the best of your week, remember to advance others, to advance yourself.